welcome to game number 3 of the Muleshoe Mules 2025 varsity football schedule. The Mules will take on the new home Leopards tonight from Benny Douglas Football Stadium here at David Wood Field in Muleshoe, Texas. Our live stream is being brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Edward Jones and Stephen Dement, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adena, and Joe are still there to serve you. McCormick Seeds, Dell Oil Company, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Hi-Tek Automotive, and our high speed for our internet live stream is provided by 5 Area Connect. This is the 6th annual Mule Up Against Childhood Cancer Gold Game, and you'll see a lot of gold pom-poms and shirts tonight in the crowd, and cheerleaders and band tonight during the game. We'll have our pregame here in just a few moments with our voice of the Muleshoe Mules, Elliott Davis.
Ladies and gentlemen, football fans far and wide, welcome to a momentous evening right here at David Wood Field, nestled within the iconic Benny Douglas Stadium for tonight's matchup between your Muleshoe Mules and the new home Leopards. I'm Elliott Davis, the voice of the Mules, coming to you under the Friday night lights with MuleshoeTV.com. Tonight is Childhood Cancer Awareness Night. For every article of yellow Muleshoe athletes wear tonight will be $1 donated to the cause from our players. Tonight we honor those impacted by this terrible disease. Make sure that y'all stick around for halftime for an announcement that will be made on the field. Well, welcome to Muleshoe, Texas. A little bit different than previous Fridays, a little warmer. No rain in the forecast for today. Winds are definitely blowing from bottom to top of your screen coming out of the east. Now, hopefully, just keeps the game going for most of the night. Last time Muleshoe was home was a few weeks ago when they hosted Brownfield. They won that game 42-12, but after a 2-hour rain delay, the game was kind of cut short just a little bit. Kept the clock running, cut the game short just a tad. Muleshoe the following week went over to Lamesa 32-24, a very close game in that one, which gives Muleshoe a 2-0 standing on this 2025 season so far. Looking at the district, Muleshoe's 2-0, Slayton's 2-0, Littlefield is also 2-0. Roosevelt's 1-2. They had a game yesterday, so their week 3 game was held on Thursday. They played Brownfield. They won that game 47-32, and then finally Idalou rounding out at the bottom 0-2 in the standings so far. Now the new home Leopards coming in 1-1 so far in this 2025 season. They did lose to Lubbock Cooper Liberty. That game 7-49. The following week they hosted Ropes and a little bit of a battle back and forth, and New Home came out victorious in that one 28-14. Now, last year's game between these two opponents, Muleshoe traveled over to New Home. 22-13 was your score in that one. Looking at your captains for today, you have number 19, Brayton Butler, 72, Jake Villanueva, number 7, Blaine Klafka, 6, Johnny Hernandez, and the scout team player of the week is Thomas Fleming. Going down your new home lineup real quick, you have number 0, Brayson Beck, number 2, Colby Cook, 3, Miles Clark, 4, Parker Lyles, number 5, Tucker Cotton, 6, Kadim Hendricks, 7, Avon Madrid, 8, Branson Beckham, Number 9, and also wears the 54, it's Grayson Snell. Number 11, Derek Carrillo. 12, Hunter Burrell. 13, Carson Hendricks. 14, Cade Campbell. 15, Keegan Adams. Number 6, Maddox Rasco. 17, Caden McDonald. 18, Ryder Starkey. 21, Lincoln Preston. 22, Marshall Brown. 23, Bryson Burke. 55, Hayden Brumley. Number 52, Kenny Donald. 55, Keaton Bullard. 58, Raph Richardson. 60, Harrison Heatwell. 62, Jayton Burrow. 65, Zach Sellers. 71, Hayden Howell. 74, Brogan Bell. 75, Riley Haysip. The head coach and athletic director is going to be John Ward. The superintendent for the Leopards is Julia Stephen. Now here's your Muleshoe Mule lineup. Number 0, Ram Regalado, sophomore, wide receiver, linebacker, 5'9", 145. Mauro Hernandez. Number 1, senior wide receiver, defensive back, 5'8", 150. Number 2, Noah Hernandez, junior, wide receiver, 5'10", 150. Aiden Garcia, number 3, sophomore, wide receiver, defensive back, 5'9", 150. Number 4, Eduardo Saenz, senior running back, linebacker, 5'11", 175. Adon Hinoza, number 5, senior wide receiver, defensive back, 5'8", 150. Johnny Hernandez, number 6, senior wide receiver, 5'7", 140. Blaine Klafka, number 7, senior tight end, defensive line, 6'2", 230. Andrew Harmio, number 9, junior wide receiver, linebacker, 5'10", 170. Josue Sigala, number 10, junior running back, linebacker, 5'10", 170. Chris Tovar, number 11, junior wide receiver, defensive back, 5'8", 140. Luis Valles, number 13, senior wide receiver, defensive back, 5'9", 145. Francisco Saraceres, number 16, senior running back, linebacker, 5'8", 175. Nehemiah Sanchez, number 17, senior running back, linebacker, 5'11", 165. Brayton Butler, number 19, senior quarterback, 6'1", 225. Jaden Agundiez, 20, junior tight end, linebacker, 5'9", 160. Davian Satal, 24, junior running back, linebacker, 5'10", 160. Evan Jenkins, number 50, junior offensive line, linebacker, 5'10", 185. Alonzo Ramirez, 51, senior offensive line, defensive line, 5'10", 205. Jesus Rodriguez, 5'2", senior offensive line, defensive line, 5'9", 190. Josiah Mendez, number 53, senior offensive line, defensive line, 6', 200. Dallas Baron, 55, junior offensive line, defensive line, 5'10", 230. Tony Rodriguez, number 60, senior offensive line, defensive line, senior, 6'3", 275. Jake Villanueva, 72, senior offensive line, defensive line, 6'1", 210. Daniel Mendoza, 74, senior offensive line, defensive line, 5'10", 225. Diego Molina, 75, senior offensive line, defensive line, 5'10", 270. The superintendent is Mr. Scott Bicknell. Principal Cindy Basir. The athletic director and your head football coach is Bo Dickinson. Offensive coordinator Aaron Witten. Defensive coordinator Jay McCook. And your assistant coaches are as listed: Stephen Butler, AJ Villanueva, Kyler Tyler Musgrave, Gabe Harris, Justin Reyna, Brody Sutterfield, Adrian Bustillos, Marcus Herrera, John Chavez, and Ruben Tellez. Exciting night here in Muleshoe, Texas. You got the Mules who are kind of escaped the Lamesa game from last week. They were up at half. It was 32-6 at the half. Lamesa making some really big adjustments. As the teams line up for the national anthem, we will also break into that real quick. Last week, Muleshoe facing Lamesa went to the halftime up 32-6. Muleshoe was able to hold off Lamesa there to a 32-24 victory, but Lamesa ran the ball most of the game in that first half, and then they went to a two-man offense, tried to score before halftime to receive the ball back at the beginning of the second half of that game. And Lamesa just kind of gave maybe 2 seconds to Ramos, their quarterback. He dropped back, would kind of throw over the middle in that little bit of open space. Now, Muleshoe's defense up front still doing work in the trenches, still getting in the backfield to the quarterback, but not fast enough before Ramos could release it last week. And you got to look at this week and hope that adjustments were made for this Muleshoe defense. Now, this Leopard team a little bit different. They do kind of rely a lot on the ground game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Coach on the sideline on the other side looked at film and said, hey, you know, we can probably get the ball out pretty quick, but you're going to have to get the ball out pretty quick if you're going to try that against this Muleshoe defense, a very stout up front defensive line. Very big, and the other thing too is that they're very deep. They've been able to rotate here and there, on and off, as Josue Sigala is going to kick it away for us. Back to receive is going to be Lincoln Preston, the junior for the Leopards. And here we go. Week 3 is on our way, and that's going to go exactly to Preston. And Preston is fast, and Muleshoe's going to have to get them down, and they do. Group effort between, who's that, number 20 and number 9 from Muleshoe. It's Andrew Harmillo and Jaden Agundiez on that. So now the Leopards will set up shop. Same team as last year. You got Brayson Beck at quarterback, Hunter Burrell at running back, both seniors, and they were a slight problem last year. Very big on the run game is what the Leopards are. They were that way last year, they're this way this year. They're going to kind of line up and punch you in the mouth, and if you're Muleshoe, you just got to fight back. Here we go. Beck at quarterback, and Beck's just going to take it himself, and he's going to be tackled. Not before he gets about 6 yards. It's going to be a 5-yard gain, actually. 2nd down and 5 for the Leopards. So Beck's carry, good for 5. And Muleshoe will jump off sides here. It's going to be free play, and Muleshoe's going to hope to get that one out of the way. Have some good defense by number 13, Luis Valles, but pass incomplete. That's going to be a fresh set of downs for this Leopard offense after the offsides penalty. Should be going for a 1st down as the Sticks get set. 1st and 10. Beck, the quarterback. It's going to be a pitch out to Burrell. Burrell's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage by a host of Mules, and the first person there is Josue Sigala, number 10. Josue Sigala and he just shed the block, got to the outside, created some mayhem, and then his team was there to help clean it up. Here we go. It's a pitch hit in the backfield. Host of Mules in the back to tackle number 4, Parker Lyles. So a loss of a few yards there. And this is that rough and tough and just, mean front of this Muleshoe defensive line that we've seen. Here we go, 3rd and 16 for Beck and company. Beck, he's going to drop back, roll to his right. He's going to get a pass out, and that is caught. Good enough for a 1st down, and the tackle is missed. Going downfield is going to be a touchdown for the Leopards. 21, Lincoln Preston for the touchdown. 3rd and long, and Beck rolled out to the right, found the receiver. Just a very tight window. He got the pass in there, and that's going to be good for a Leopard touchdown. The Leopards strike first. McDonald to attempt the PAT for the Leopards. And that kick is going to be no good. Keeps the score 0-6. Beck's connection with Preston will be the only pass on that series, and it was a pass for a touchdown. And that was only a 16-yard pass. That pass was thrown right at the Sticks, and there was a Muleshoe receiver there, and just Preston was able just to shed off of that Muleshoe linebacker and was able to get upfield, keep in bounds is, I think, the more impressive part. And man, oh man, this is, you hope this isn't kind of last week carrying over into this week, that second half from Lamesa. And it looked like Muleshoe had really good coverage on Preston too, and just a tad of a misread, missed tackle there. Unfortunately, it's a touchdown for the opponent. Josue Sigala back to receive. Starkey is going to kick it away, and that ball's going to go end over end, out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So now here comes this Muleshoe Mule offense. Brayton Butler and company now out on the field. Really warm Friday night here, kind of the opposite of the past 2 Fridays, both overcast. One, we had rain come through for a delay, and then next week in Lamesa, just a little bit of an overcast, but temps were in the 60s, higher 60s, lower 70s by kickoff as Butler and company are out on the field. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. They will now shift. Here we go, low snap, and Butler's just going to have to land on it, and he does, but that's going to be a big loss. It's a loss of 9. Second down and 19 for this Muleshoe offense. Not starting that first drive too hot. The box is stacked. They're expecting run. Here we go. Handoff to Sigala. Sigala up the middle, and he's going to get a few yards. Gain of 4 will take it up to the 25. You'll need to get to the 40 for a first down. 3rd and 15 for this Muleshoe offense on their first drive. You would really like to respond to that Leopard touchdown. And the New Home Leopards still stacking the box, only one safety back. Showing blitz. Here we go. Pass over the middle to number 6, who is open. That's good enough for a first down. Cuts to the outside. Johnny Hernandez finally brought down. And I think that's what you're going to have to do. You know, last week in Lamesa, just a little bit one-dimensional, not able to get the passes out. Some passes were high, but that was a really great job by Butler. He just stepped back, saw who was open, read the defense correctly, got the ball out for a Muleshoe first down. And now you're into Leopard territory. Josue Sigala now going around the right on the outside. Good carry by Sigala. Sigala to the left of Butler, 2 receivers at the top of your screen, and false start. So 2nd down and 4 will take you to 2nd down and 9. The Leopards still stacking this box of Muleshoe right here. And Muleshoe with a handoff to Sigala. Sigala's going to break a few tackles. He's going to be maybe a yard shy of the sticks, and he will. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. Very 3rd down and manageable for this Muleshoe offense. Like I said, you know, this Muleshoe front, they do great on the ground. You're getting, you know, 3 or 4 yards at a time, but that leaves no room for error for a false start or a bad snap or anything like that. You know, got the big guys out, and that's going to be a direct carry by Josue Sigala. It's going to be good enough for a first down inside. Now they're going to mark him at the 26. So Muleshoe 1st and 10. Ball will be located at the 26. And that's all you need. You just need just a few yards. Really good push up front by the guys in the trenches. And this is Muleshoe football. They're, you know, a little bit different face from last year, but slow, methodical, and they are able to just drive downfield. And it's like our guys against your guys in the trenches. And it's going to be a keeper by Butler. And I think that was a quarterback read, and Butler kept it and didn't have very far to go. A loss of a few will make it 2nd down and 12. Clock continuing to run. 6:40 left in this first quarter. Muleshoe down 0-6 if you're just now joining us. Still stacking the box is going to be the Leopards. Man in motion. Here we go. Butler dropping back. It's going to pass over the middle, and that ball's caught. Went through a few different hands, and number 2, Noah Hernandez, with great hands to catch that ball in the air. That ball hit 4 different Leopard hands before it got into his hands. Wow. So 1st and 10 for this Muleshoe offense. It's a really good 1st and 10. You know, you get down inside the 5, you have a chance to extend out even more. And Josue Sega's going to have to slip by one guy, and he does, but he doesn't escape the pack of leopards that was there. Loss of 1 will make it 2nd and 11 for this Muleshoe offense with the direct to Segala. It looks like we'll have 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom of your screen. The lone receiver at the bottom is Noah Hernandez. Here we go, handoff to Segala again, and he's going to be hit in the backfield. There is a flag. So chop block against the Leopards. Move the ball up to the 6. Repeat 2nd down, so 2nd and, or be 1st and goal. That's what I thought for there for a second. I was like, it should be a 1st and goal as the chain crew is now gaining direction, and it'll be a 1st and goal for your Muleshoe Mules right here. Got 4 plays to get it in, 6 yards to go. 4:41 left in this first quarter. Clock is running. Butler and company out on the field. Segala to the left of Butler. Handoff. Segala goes up the left side. Follows his offensive lineman to the end zone. Touchdown, Muleshoe. Josue Segala, a 6-yard run. 4:30 left in the first quarter. And Muleshoe answers back. As Brayton Butler is going to attempt the PAT. Johnny Hernandez to hold the ball for Butler. Snap is good. Kick is up, and that is no good. Just left of the pole. Keeps the score all even here in Benny Douglas Stadium, 6-6, 4:30 left in the first quarter if you're just now joining us. Josue Segala with a nice little run up the left side, followed his offensive lineman to the end zone. And that was really great blocking by the guys up front. They pulled around, were able to find a jersey to get a hold of and just push back into the end zone, and made it really easy for Josue Segala just to kind of just follow, and then, you know, just got to go 6 yards. Once again, if you're just now joining us, 6-6 is our score in Muleshoe, Texas. It's also Childhood Cancer Awareness Night here in Benny Douglas Stadium. For every article of yellow Muleshoe athletes wear tonight will be $1 donated to the cause from our players. And make sure that you do stick around at halftime for some announcements on that. So you recognize a few different children. Sun coming down in the horizon. Got some clouds off in the distance. I know there were storms on the eastern side of New Mexico that could be influencing those clouds, and you kind of hope those clouds just kind of stay put, allow the sun to go down. Here we go. Preston is going to take the bounce in front of him, and he's going to put a shoulder down, and he's going to be finally brought down at the 39-yard line. Muleshoe's defense really good. Just a one play fluke, honestly, is that last drive. They were able to, first play come out, just no gain on the play. Next play, 2 yards behind. Next play, 5 yards behind, and then just a big pass from Bryson Beck. And here we go, first attempt for the Leopards, and Bryson Beck's gonna, ball's on the ground! And I can't tell who landed on it. I think the Leopards did. 6SA, Bryson Beck, I think, noticed it. Noticed that the pigskin was on the ground, and he said, "Whoa, I gotta get on that." It's gonna be a loss of tune. This is good for Muleshoe right here, but Muleshoe's stacking the box now. Here we go, handoff. No, it's going to be a keeper by Bryson, and Bryson's going to be able to get the first down. But he's going to be finally brought down. That was a good quarterback read by number 0, Bryson Beck. Correction on the name, Bryson. Clock will continue to run. 3:35 left in this first quarter. Big boy package, and ball comes out. Josue Sigala's fast, and he's going to land on it. Josue Sigala pushes Bryson Beck out of the way and says, "That is my pigskin." Josue Sigala, both sides of the ball. And and that is a heads up play by Josue Sigala. Just he gets there, pushes Bryson Beck, seeing that Bryson Beck and just braces momentum at that point, just pushes him past the ball on the ground, and Josue Sigala lands on top of it. Heads up play by Josue Sigala. Now Butler and company out on the field. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line, and handoff to Sigala. Sigala is going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like it'll be a gain of maybe 1. Second down and 9, 3:15 left in this first quarter. Nehemiah Sanchez now in for Sigala. Sigala getting him a little breather on the sideline. Great job to Josue Sigala. Here we go. Butler and company. High snap, but Nehemiah Sanchez is able to get in. He's going to be hit behind the line. And Nehemiah Sanchez is going to have to come out. His helmet came off as Josue Sigala will now trade places with him, but now we're in a bad third and very long situation for this Muleshoe offense. Now this is still technically 4-down territory, so you have 15 yards to go to get your first down. You try to get that as close as you can. Here we go. Butler in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. And I think you punted away here at this point. You're close to midfield. And a 3-and-out for this Muleshoe offense after the turnover that was forced. Or the turnover that they were able to get. Correction. 4th and forever. 1:35 left in this first quarter. Back to receive. It's going to be 21. Lincoln Preston. Kicking it away is Josue Sigala. And that's a good kick, end over end, and that's just going to immediately hit the ground and go straight out the back of the end zone. And you kind of hope that that had a little kind of stop to it and landed right at about the 9-yard line. Wow. If you're Muleshoe, you can't be too upset. You got to keep the momentum on your side, get a little mental toughness here, and you're able to stop this Leopard offense. It was just one play. Other than that, on the ground, the Leopards really haven't been able to do too much. You have 3 really big guys up front that are really forcing a lot of disruption against a really big jumbo package that the Leopards come out in. You got 3 against almost 7, and they're causing so much trouble in that backfield already. Now, if you're a linebacker or safety for this Muleshoe team, you're really having to be careful and not let the ball go over your head and let no players get behind you. Brayson Beck, a really good magician at hiding the ball and where it is, Here we go. Handoff up the middle, and a big flag coming in the backfield. Number 18, Starkey, holding on the Leopards, though. Starkey with the carry will take the ball just a little bit upfield, but will be turned around and having to come back. It's a ball now located at the 15 of the Leopards. 1st and 20 for this Leopard offense as we are approaching the 1 minute mark left in this first quarter. 6-6 is your score. If you're just now joining us, man in motion, handoff, Preston on the outside, finally brought down. Good gain on the play, but number 2, Noah Hernandez there for the tackle. Oh, sorry, correction, number 6, Johnny Hernandez. We'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Beck, it's going to be a handoff, and it's going to go up the right side, and there's another flag, and that's in the area of holding again. See what the officiating crew says. Didn't really see anything. And yeah, another chop block by this offense of the Leopards. As here comes some fresh bodies for this Muleshoe defense in the trenches. And that's kind of what we were talking about. This Muleshoe team, they'll go a few plays, bring in some fresh bodies, and they are just going to really emphasize the trench game. They're just fighting in there. A really good job to these middle linebackers in the secondary. They're able to recognize and get up, but be careful here. Don't let anything get over your head. 2nd and 24 for this Leopard offense, and it really wouldn't surprise me if Coach John Ward just finds a way to get it over everyone's head. Just find a receiver. You have Lincoln Preston, who's able to really pass the ball. That'll be the end of the first quarter. 6-6 is your score in this one. Tight one. If you're just now joining us, 6-6. Tonight is Childhood Cancer Awareness Night. And for every article
Gillam Advertising, MuleshoeTV.com, live stream coverage of the Muleshoe Mules versus New Home Leopards football game brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Edward Jones and Stephen Dement, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adena, and Joe are still there to serve you. McCormick Seeds, Dell Oil Company, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Hi-Tek Automotive, and high-speed internet for our live stream provided by 5 Area Connect.
Just a few missed keys, and man, you know, you saw the ball get flown out maybe a few times so far. You'd really like to see Butler get settled in and throw that ball a little bit more. Here we go. Empty backfield for this Leopard offense. Here we go. Beck dropping back. It's going to be a quick out to number 7, and it is over his head. That was Avon Madrid. And boy, oh boy, he was open for days and had nothing but green in front of him. The tight end just 1-2 blocked and then just slipped out into the middle of the field. And luckily, that was just overthrown. This brings up 3rd down and 24, and if you're Muleshoe, you would really like to force a punt right here, keep it 3rd and very long. Beck dropping back, in trouble. He's going to need to get rid of it, and he does, and that is again over the head of his intended receiver, number 7, Avon Madrid. Apologies. So now the Leopards will punt it away to this Muleshoe special teams. Number 10, Josue Sigala back to receive. Punting it away is number 0, Brayson Beck. And I wouldn't expect anything right here, anything too crazy. But you always want to be ready and aware. Snap is good, and punt is going to be end over end. And muffed and able to be picked up by number 13, and he's going to be finally brought down. Ooh, scary right there. Luis Valles, really good hands. See, he's picked up by his team, but Josue Sigala, just the way that punt was kicked, it was end over end, but going end over end backwards, I almost want to say if you let that one go, it was going to roll back towards the Leopards in your favor, and doesn't help that he had about 2 or 3 different new Leopards in his face too. His 1st and 10, you know, shake that one off. His Butler and company now come out onto the field. 11:40 left in this 2nd quarter. 6-6 is your score. Two receivers at the bottom of your screen. Sigala to the left of Butler. Here we go. Handoff. Sigala, nowhere to go. Finds open real estate out in front of him, and he's going to get up the edge down to the 25, forced out of bounds at the 20. Josue Sigala had nowhere to go, and there is laundry on the field. And that is in the area of holding. Yes, and that is what it is. Holding on Muleshoe. A big run for Josue Sigala, negated by the holding, and man, that just kind of deflates an offense right there. You're going to have to fight that one off. It'll be a let's see, yeah, repeat 1st down. It'll be 1st and about 13. Butler, handoff to Sigala. Sigala, patient, finds a hole, has good lead blocks, and there he goes. And here comes some more flags. Wow. Sigala has at least 40 yards negated by holding penalties. So we'll try 1st down again. You know, 3rd time's the charm, I heard. 11:09 left in this 2nd quarter. 6-6 is our score. Muleshoe back-to-back holding calls negated. I don't want to, at least 40 yards, if not just a little bit more than that, of yardage. And once again, this new home Leopard team just stacking the box again. Here we go, repeat first down, man in motion. Butler back, pass to Valles. Valles is going to get upfield just a little bit, and he will bring the ball in between the sticks. Right at the, in between the sticks. It'll be 2nd down and 9. So Valles, good effort, bringing the ball inside the sticks. 2nd down and 9 for this Muleshoe offense. Butler and company on the field. Receiver at the bottom of your screen. Lone receiver at the top of your screen is Noah Hernandez. Sigala to the right, and that's going to be passed out to Noah Hernandez. It's in and out of his hands. That was in his hands. That would have been easily a first down right there, and that's going to be a 3rd down and long for this Muleshoe offense. 10:29 is where the clock is stopped at. I think we tried that again. You know, Butler settling in there. He is definitely settling down on his passing. You know, those passes in the past couple weeks high, just a little high, and then, you know, now you're kind of bringing it down, getting it into the hands of the receiver. But Butler has a cannon for an arm. I mean, that ball is coming out fast. Here we go. And that's going to be a reverse, and it is sniffed out by this Leopard offense, the carry by Nehemiah Sanchez. So 4th down and 6. And I mean, you got to think of what you might end up doing right here. So you have 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 2 at the bottom of your screen, and Sigala to the right of Butler. And coach is going to take a timeout. 6-6 are scoring this one. 9:50 in the second quarter is a back and forth battle between these two, and really not much in the end zone, just more on the field. Next week, Canadian will be coming to town. That game on the 19th, 7 p.m. Canadian doing really good this season so far. Really, really tough games so far for Canadian. And this drive, you know, you got to sit here and think, you know, you're able to get upfield a few times, and it's just little tiny mistakes with the holding is really kind of what really sputtered out this drive for this Muleshoe offense. As Butler and company are now out on the field, let's see what they bring. And they're going to have 2 receivers at the top of your screen. Lone receiver at the bottom of your screen is Luis Valles. Sigala to the right of Butler. And once again, 3-man front, but stacking the box is the Leopards. Butler's going to roll out to his right, and he's going to have to get rid of it, and that ball is thrown deep, and it is, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Good defense by the Leopards, but that was almost caught by Johnny Hernandez. And that is a turnover on downs for this Muleshoe offense. Game of momentum going back and forth between these two teams, and at this point it just kind of feels even. Neither offenses can really get anything done at the moment. This new home Leopard team has a really, really good defense. Big guys up front, tall guys in the secondary. As Brayson, Beck, and company are now on the field. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and there immediately is Muleshoe. No gain on the play. Host of Mules on that tackle. Hunter Burrell with the carry. Gain of 1, second down and 9. Clock running, 9:10 left in this half. Here we go. And hit in the backfield. Number 51. That's Alonzo Ramirez getting into the backfield to tackle Brayson Beck. And here comes Muleshoe. They're saying switch out the boys, and boys in the trenches, fresh set of bodies in. .840 left in the second quarter. If you're just now joining us, 6-6 is our score. Beck sends a man in motion. It's going to drop back, look to his left, and he's going to get it out quick. And that ball is caught, and that is number 2, Colby Cook, with the first down. And there it is right there. Just that little, just kind of setup, you know. Cook ran about 10 yards, came back 3 yards, and was just wide open, and Beck was just back there patiently waiting, and he stood there, and that's exactly where he's looking. A fresh set down for this Leopards team, and here we go. Handoff to number 12, and he's going to be finally brought out of bounds, and there's going to be a flag. Clock stopped at 8:01 in the second quarter. 6-6 is our score. Flag on the play, but this Leopard offense is now kind of feel a little momentum coming back to this Leopard team, and let's see what this is. Hands in the face on the Leopards. So, you know, 1st and 10, you know, you get a first down, and on the flip side for Muleshoe, you want this. This is nice. You know, this is going to make it 1st and about 20 for this Leopard offense. But now, if you're Muleshoe, you can't let anything get over your head. Passing-wise, you're going to have to hope that the Leopards keep the ball on the ground. Here we go. Beck, handoff up the middle. There immediately for the hit is Josue Sigala for the tackle. Right at the line, kind of pushes the new home Leopard forward. Will only give a few yards, so it'll be second down and long. Second and about 19 is what we're looking at. Beck dropping back immediately, and he gets it over the head. It's a screen, and back inside the sticks is where the new home Leopards will be located. Coach Ward just trying to find different ways to keep this Muleshoe defense on our toes. Muleshoe, you know, still able to get in the backfield and hope that you get a big play right here. Kind of force it 4th and a little unmanageable. You like it 4th and 10 or maybe even beyond that point, but let's see what comes up right here with Beck and company. Man in motion. Beck, pass down the field. That's Colby Cook with the catch. Number 2, Noah Hernandez with the tackle, but that pushes the ball downfield, and Muleshoe is now in trouble. You know, Colby Cook just like a bullet shot out of the cannon. He got downfield fast, and Beck just unleashed it. That was a good pass by Brayson Beck, the new home Leopard quarterback. And 1st and 10, 1 yard line will be a fresh set of downs, and handoff. It's going to be a carry by Beck, and Beck had nowhere to go. Matter of fact, you may lose a yard. Now here's the thing. If you are Muleshoe's defense's secondary, you have to watch the screen You know, just the success in the air that teams have had against this Muleshoe defense. You're going to have to find a way to just keep your eyes upfield. Like right here, here we go. And that's going to be Beck, who's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage and drove backwards. Forward progress to get him back to the start of the sticks. So it will be maybe a yard or 2 gain, 3rd down. And yeah, 3rd down and 9. And this is 4 down territory, so you got 2 more downs if you're this Muleshoe defense. Don't let anything get behind you. Keep an eye on the tight ends. And I'd keep an eye on those 2 receivers at the top of your screen for a screen. Here we go, and that's exactly what you thought it was. Oh, and that was just a misread by Beck. Lincoln Preston was wide open, and that's going to be a 4th down, and a whole new set of personnel is going to come in, and I think they're going to attempt the field goal right here.
Oh, yeah. Red shoes and no gear.
Snap is good. Kick is up, end over end, and does not go through. Turnover on downs. This Muleshoe defense forces bending and not breaking. But boy, oh boy, this Muleshoe offense is going to have to gas up and get downfield. You got 5 minutes and 9 seconds to do it, and 6-6. You're going to have to get downfield and score. Muleshoe to receive the ball for the second half. And boy, you would like to go downfield, get some points here, kind of run down the clock as much as you can, and then turn around and get the ball back and hopefully add some insurance to this score. Butler and company now out on the field. Josue Sigala to the left of them. Here we go. Butler, handoff, Sigala. Good blocks up front. Sigala finds a hole, and he's going to escape out. Breaks another block, is forced out of bounds. And that's going to be a flag. And he was way out of bounds and was brought down again. And Josue Sigala is a hard runner. He does not give up. And I don't think Newhome recognized that they were out of bounds and still flung them. Clock will be stopped at the 5-minute mark. And I don't know what much of this officiating crew needs to discuss. Six to 6, our score in the second quarter, 5 minutes left. Muleshoe will get the ball to start the second half of play. If you're just now joining us, penalty, it's just a late hit out of bounds, and it looks like they're picking up the flag. I'll tell you what, Coach Bo is not happy about that. And neither is this Muleshoe sideline. Wow. And you don't see that often in high school football where a flag is picked up. So second down and very manageable for this Muleshoe offense. Butler and company now out on the field. I guarantee you, Josue Sigala not too happy about that. Receiver at the top and bottom of your screen. I'd feed it to Sigala again. Here we go. Sigala up the middle. And that'll be a gain of 1. Third down and still manageable. We'll make it 3rd and 2 for this Muleshoe offense. 4:40 left in this first half of football. 6 to 6, all tied up. It's just Muleshoe just slowly making their way to the line of scrimmage, taking as much time off the clock that they can. Sigala, direct snap to him. It's going to be a keeper by Sigala. It's good enough for a first down. So good Muleshoe first down right there. 4:07 left in this second quarter. Clock will run. 6-6 all tied up. Two receivers at the top and bottom of your screen. There was a change in personnel up front. Butler rolling out to his left. Quick pass, and that ball is going to be caught. That was number 2, Noah Hernandez with the catch. And that's what you need to do. You need to find Brayton Butler a good rhythm on this passing offense to kind of spread out this defense of the Leopards, as they are now stacking a whole set of players inside the box. Here we go. Handoff Sigala. Sigala is going to go up the left side. Good enough for a first down and a little bit more. Gets up to midfield. That'll be enough for Muleshoe. First down, and ball will be located at the 47 of Muleshoe. Close to midfield. 2:50 left in the second quarter. Muleshoe to get the ball back to start the second half of play. 6-6 is your score. And if you're Muleshoe, you kind of like the pace that you're moving at, but you're going to have to be just a little bit perfect on this drive, getting downfield. Here we go. Toss out to Sigala. Sigala's hit in the backfield. Read all day by this Leopard defense. They stepped up, and what they're doing is they're seeing which way Sigala's going, and that's the way the ball's going to go. Open field on the left side of that field. I'd almost wonder if it was good for Brayton Butler to have maybe a read there for him to take it up the left side. There we go. 2nd and 12. Clock at the 2-minute mark, and I think if your coach should call a timeout right here, or sorry, it's not time. It'll be the 2-minute. So 2-minute warning. So the 2-minute timeout. Muleshoe located at the 45, and you're going to have 55 yards to get downfield in about 2 minutes, and you know, this Muleshoe offense has that kind of spark to be just a little bit explosive, but you got to really try to get the ball in the air for Brayton Butler. I mean, you have some really big targets. I mean, you have Klafkla, and then you also have Noah Hernandez, you know, out there on the outside edge, really fast. And I mean, you can even get a screen out to Sigala. Sigala doesn't need a whole lot of room to get free, but you're going to have to find a way to get Sigala on the outside somehow fast, or just get the ball downfield with the pass. As Butler and company are now coming out onto the field, you got 55 yards to get downfield to the end zone in 2 minutes. 2nd down and 12 for your Muleshoe offense. 1, 2, 3. So 6 players in the box, and now 8 players in the box. Here we go. Snap over the head of Sigala, and Sigala's going to have to take it, and he's just going to be forced out of bounds. And there's going to be a flag on the play in the backfield, and oh man, a holding on Muleshoe. After that penalty, it'll be a repeat second down, but it'll be second and 17. Now for this Muleshoe offense, you got 153, lost 7 seconds on that play. And I think if you're this Muleshoe offense, you just have to calm down and if you're this Muleshoe offense, you just need to calm down, get Butler back into a rhythm, and try to get this ball downfield. Butler's going to route to his left, and he does that, but that ball's just thrown just outside of his receiver. No, Hernandez wide open, and man, he probably had another 10 yards in front of him, and actually that was a loss of down penalty, my mistake. So now Josue Sigala had to punt it away with 1:49 left in the second quarter, and I can tell you right now what this new home offense is planning to do. But first, you're going to have to lock down Lincoln Preston. Sigala's kick is good, end over end, and that's going to take a Muleshoe bounce, landing at about the 34. We'll get to the 29. Great punt by Josue Sigala. And the athlete can just do it all. 1:35 left in the second quarter, and if you're Muleshoe, you would love to get a turnover right here deep into Leopard territory. Brayson Beck and company now going to come out, and I'd expect them to go full 2-minute offense on this drive. First and 10, they'll have 1:35 to go down the field to try to score. Now, Muleshoe does get this ball for the second half, so if Muleshoe can force a turnover here, this can be really good for the Mules. Here we go, Beck rolling out, looking to his left, and there it is, a screen, and that is going to be trouble for Muleshoe. No. Has a big chunk of yards right there, tackled in bounds still. So that was Parker Lyles with the little catch, and was a herd of leopards in front of him blocking for him. And that was just a really good screen, really good blocking up front for that leopard. The right side of that offensive line, it'll be first and 10, clock now at 1 minute. Beck rolling out to his left, looking, pass, caught, man, breaks a tackle, first down into Muleshoe territory. It's number 2, Colby Cook, and this is the same exact offense that we saw with Lamesa last week. Here we go. Timeout. Leopards. So 59 seconds left in this second quarter. Muleshoe is going to have to really find a way to stop this quick pass, and I mean, like, this secondary is just going to have to keep up with. Just going to have to keep up with these wide receivers, and then just kind of what's going on in the backfield. Now Beck can take off and run with it too, but I think up front, Muleshoe's fine. Muleshoe's been able to get into the backfield. They really haven't let any big runs get out. But now you got to worry about, like, new home might try to kick a field goal if they get within 20 yards, It's the field goal right there is where they are. It's about the 20. First and 10 for Beck and company. Here we go. Man in motion. Beck is going to keep it again. A little play action. And getting in the backfield is going to be Muleshoe, but they're going to have to bring down Beck, and they finally do. Ooh, it took about 4 or 5 meals. Beck was just running around everywhere, and it's finally brought down, and that's going to be a timeout by the Leopards. Make sure that you stick around for halftime. Tonight is Childhood Cancer Awareness Night. For every article of yellow the Muleshoe athletes are wearing out on the field tonight will be $1 donated to the cause from our players. And at halftime, they're going to have a little announcement ceremony for these children that are affected by this just terrible disease. 48 seconds left in the second quarter if you're just now joining us. 6-6 is our score. And really good job by that Muleshoe defense getting in the backfield fast, not giving back much time. And that's kind of where this Muleshoe defense does really good. Beck held on to just a second too long. He did have 2 open receivers. Here we go, second down and about 16 for this Leopard offense. Beck and company now out on the field. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Beck looking to his right. He's just going to unleash and go. Has an open receiver. Caught. Touchdown, Leopards. Parker Lyles. And that's just well drawn up right there by the Leopards coaching team. And it's been there a few times, and you just had to give Beck just a few seconds, and man, he just left it out there for Parker Lyles to go get, and Parker's really fast, got upfield real quick. And that kick's going to be end over end, good, 13-6. Now Muleshoe's going to have to answer. They got 42 seconds to do it, and just going to have to find a way to get the ball downfield fast. 13-6 if you're just now joining us. Leopards going down and scoring. 3rd and long. So if you're Muleshoe's offense, the pass has been there a few times. You just gotta find a way to get Brayton Butler in rhythm to go down and score. Josue Sigala back to receive this kick, and if you're the Leopards, you're trying to keep it away from him. Muleshoe's going to need some life before this second half, and that kick is going to just be squibbed directly into the hands of number 2. That's going to be Mauro Hernandez. I'm sorry, I went to number 3. No, Aiden Garcia. So 1st and 10 for this Muleshoe offense. You got 39 seconds, a couple timeouts. Now you do get the ball to start the second half, so not impossible to go down and score. But now this Leopard offense kind of just slightly backed off a little bit. The box is still stacked, but not as tight as what it normally is. And Josue Sigala is going to get upfield. He's going to be tackled inbounds, and the clock will run. Ball placed at the left hash. Should be on the bottom of your screen. And I wonder if Coach called timeout. I don't think he did. I think Coach is saying let's go to halftime. 6-13, Muleshoe down at home. They will receive the ball to start this second half of play. We'll be right back. Make sure you stick around for your halftime with MuleshoeTV.com.
Gil-Am Advertising, MuleshoeTV.com, live stream coverage of the Muleshoe Mules versus New Home Leopards football game brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms. McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Edward Jones and Stephen Dement, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adena, and Joe are still there to serve you. McCormick Seeds, Dell Oil Company, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Hi-Tek Automotive, and high-speed internet for our live stream provided by 5 Area Connect.
Diaz. Congratulations and thank you for your leadership.
Approximately 15,000 children are diagnosed with cancer each year in just the U.S. alone. It is the leading cause of death by disease for children in the U.S. Children are a symbol of innocence and hope for the future, a light for the future. Childhood cancer can dim or even put out these lights. Though the pain cannot be measured and not all diseases can be cured, awareness can be raised and support can be accumulated. Let us be aware of the burdens of others. Let us support so that even though the results may not be exactly what we want, no one has to face them alone.
thank you, fighters, families, and friends, for joining us this evening and allowing us the privilege of honoring and remembering these child heroes.
Gillam Advertising, MuleshoeTV.com, live stream coverage of the Muleshoe Mules versus New Home Leopards football game brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Edward Jones and Stephen Dement, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adena, and Joe are still there to serve you. McCormick Seeds, Dell Oil Company, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Hi-Tek Automotive, and high-speed internet for our live stream provided by 5 Area Connect.
Welcome back to your second half of this wonderful football game tonight. Close one we have, 6-13. Unfortunately, in favor of our opponents, the New Home Leopards. Now, both teams kind of struggling on offense so far. The New Home Leopards kind of right before the half ended really found a stride. Kind of found what would work. Muleshoe shutting down the run so far in this one. Back to receive is Josue Segal, number 10. So Muleshoe needing to find an answer. Muleshoe one-dimensional tonight. Only 4 passing plays on the night so far. Here we go. Kick is end over end. And that is going to take a bounce right into Josue Segala's hands. Josue Segala fast is going to cut it back, and it's going to be finally brought down. Now before he gets up to about the 26. That will now set up a 1st and 10 for Butler and company. Now, Muleshoe's defense, on the other hand, really good, locking down the run. Not really too many running plays out for this Leopard offense, and you got to find an answer somewhere, somehow. And Josue Segal is going to be hit. He's going to escape out of a tackle, and he's going to spin around, finally be brought down and tackled. Coming in for Segala is number 17, Nehemiah Sanchez. 2nd down and 1 for this Muleshoe offense. A little bit of change of play from coach from the sideline. There we go. Handoff to Sanchez. Sanchez will be hit the line of scrimmage, and they're saying he may get the 1 yard on the second chance effort for the running back. Gain of 1 is good for a 1st down. Signal from the officiating crew says 1st down. Clock will continue to run. 10:45. If you're just now coming back, 13-6 is our score to start this second half, and we welcome you back. And hopefully most of y'all stuck around for the halftime announcements that we had for the childhood cancer, and that ball outside the reach of his intended receiver, number 2, Noah Hernandez. Second and 10 for this Muleshoe offense. 10:25 left in the this third quarter. Muleshoe a little bit one-dimensional. It's the only 5th passing play tonight. Muleshoe looking to try to get the ball in the air as this Leopard defense just stacking the box and then just kind of just following whichever way the running back's going. And Butler's going to run out to his left. He's in trouble. He's got to get rid of it. And he's just going to hang on to it. It's finally hit hard. He will get back to the line of scrimmage, but nowhere to go on that one. Clock will run. 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Muleshoe down 6-13, looking to answer the Leopard touchdown. You know, the Leopards tonight, New Home, not able to really do much on the ground, but they ran a 2-minute drill. Got the ball downfield fairly fast and was able to score on a 3rd and outside the sticks. I think it's like 3rd and 19. Here we go. Butler going to keep it. He's going to get the pass out. That's going to be caught. Complete. We'll make it 4th down and manageable for this Muleshoe offense. 4th and 4. And the personnel change is going to come out to punt it away. Back to receive this punt, it's going to be Lincoln Preston. Snap a little high. It's going to go end over end, and it's going to be caught at about the 19. Preston himself is going to take it, and he's going to be brought down right at about the 30, maybe the 31.
Yeah, you see that? I think he made a business decision there.
So now this new home Leopard offense will come out. They took a new identity to the typical new home, known for just getting under center or wing formation or wishbone and and running it. And man, we saw them in 5 wide on this last series, and they were very successful doing so. So you gotta wonder if Coach Ward will come out and do the same, or if he'll just kind of stick with offense. And now Coach is gonna have to take a timeout. So timeout for this Muleshoe offense. 9:16 left in the third quarter. 6-13 Muleshoe going just a little bit down the field before having to punt it away. And yeah, I think if your Muleshoe's defense don't let anything behind you on the pass, but you would really like to, you're going to have to force a turnover somewhere, because I think this, the Leopards can go about it one or two ways. The offense for Muleshoe has been pretty much stagnant since that first touchdown. And, Coach Ward on the Leopard side is probably thinking, well, you could probably run the ball, get a little bit downfield. Burn some time off the clock, as Beck and company are now out on the field. Here we go, 1st and 10, first series for this Leopard offense for this second half of football. It's just going to be an end around to number 2, who is going to be finally brought down, not before he gets a first down, Colby Cook. Clock will continue to run. 9 minutes left in this third quarter. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen, and Lincoln Preston, a really big receiver there in the slot. And that's exactly where the ball was going to go, and it's just outside of the reach for Preston. Preston was wide open and had a little bit of greenery in front of him, and that ball was just outside of his reach. 2nd down and 10. Still, the ball is located at the 42 of the Leopards. And Muleshoe's defense, bending and not breaking. They've been doing a really good job of just not laying too much out, but the pass has been just kind of like the kryptonite for this team so far. Here we go. Beck's going to take it and run with it, and that's going to be a huge hole. There comes a flag. That should be holding. 6-8. You can see that from all the way up here. It's a big jersey pull. So holding on the Leopards. So the Leopards will have a repeat 2nd down. It'll be 2nd and 20. 8:45 left in this third quarter, but if you're just Muleshoe secondary, you want to play good, read your keys, stay on your receivers. And watch what Beck does. And Beck is giving away the pass just a little bit. His eyes, his direction that he's looking at is giving away where he's wanting to throw it. Here we go. Beck rolls out, and that's exactly where he's looking. And there we go. Muleshoe there immediately for the tackle. And in between the sticks, that's what Newhome was able to do. But there's an injured Newhome player on the Muleshoe sideline. And it was the receiver, number 21, Lincoln Preston. Hope he is all right. This has gone silent here in Benny Douglas Stadium. 8:20 if you're just now joining us in the third quarter. 13-6 is our score. As they're attending him, we'll be looking ahead next week. Canadian will be coming to town. That game is on the 19th at 7 o'clock as 21 Preston gets up on his own. He's walking on his own, and that's a really good sign. And hope nothing too seriously is wrong with number 21. So he puts on his helmet, he walks off to the side, coaches and staff left and right, and now he's jogging off to the sideline. So 2nd and 20 will turn into 3rd down and very manageable. This is 3rd and 2 for this Leopard offense. And it's really hard because if you're the Leopard offense, you're thinking, man, we can run it here, but this Muleshoe team really hasn't been given too much on the run. You're going to have to come up with something to kind of drive everyone the other way. And Beck's going to take it, and he's going to be hit, bounces off of a couple of Mules. He gets the first down, only by like a few yards. So fresh set of downs for the Leopards as they are now in Muleshoe territory. So this Leopard offense, Beck and company, fresh set downs, 1st and 10. Beck, handoff to number 2 in the backfield. Who is that? 51! Alonzo Ramirez getting into the backfield for a big tackle for loss for this Muleshoe defense. And I tell you what, and that just lights a fire under this defense right there. That makes you feel really good. So 2nd down and long, and now honestly, you expect the pass right here. Look at the bottom of your screen. Here we go. Yep, screen. And it's going to be number 2 who's going to take it. And he's finally going to be brought down, but holy smokes, he was not going down very easy. Takes the ball inside the sticks. So another 2nd and long pass, and it's not even a deep pass. You're talking a pass behind the line of scrimmage. And the offense able to push it down to make it 3rd and a couple. And I would expect Beck to kind of maybe do the same thing right here. And Muleshoe's secondary really backed off of this. Of the 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen. And Beck is going to take it himself on the RPO, and he is fast. Finally brought down inside the 25. Will be down at the 23. 1st down, Leopards. And this is watching the Leopards throughout. Very run heavy team, but they're usually in tight, not doing a whole lot. But man, oh man, this Muleshoe team's gonna need to stop the bleeding right here. 1st and 10. 13-6 is your score. 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. And here we go. Ball is out, and Muleshoe lands on it. Another fumble recovery. Number 7. It's going to be Blaine Klafka.
take over on the 29 yard.
Bending and not breaking is this Muleshoe defense, and now the offense will need to come out and see if you can get something rolling on this series right here, right now. If you're this Muleshoe offense, you gotta, and the defense has definitely kept you in this one as much as possible. Now, time to return the favor. We go 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom of your screen. Handoff, Sigala up the middle is going to break a few tackles. It's going to be finally brought down. Good 9-yard run will make it 2nd and 1 for this Muleshoe Mule offense. 5:30 left in this third quarter.
I was going to like that side. When Kelsey and Brandon, I heard about it, they all got food poisoning. And Cameron ended up not eating it. And so she was like, oh, thank gosh.
Here we go. Play action. And he's just going to take it himself, and finally he's going to get the first down, be brought out of bounds. Brayton Butler's carry gets Muleshoe a first down. So Butler and company out on the field. Josue Sigala still there. Let's see where they put everyone. Coach is slowly just trying to make his way downfield. Burning time off the clock. 5 minutes left in this third quarter of play. Here we go. And at that point, you're just going to have to throw it away. That was a really good decision by Brayton Butler there. You know, receiver in the area was Noah Hernandez, and Butler and company looking off at the sideline at Coach Bo, trying to figure out what to do next. Clock stopped at 4:56. Sigala to the right of Butler. 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. Here we go. Handoff, Sigala. Sigala's going to take it himself. He's going to bounce out the left side, and he makes 3 different Leopards miss. Now, good run, but make it 3rd down and manageable. And it's still 3rd down and long. And I don't feel like this is 4 down territory. You have a long way to go. 3rd down and 8 for this Muleshoe offense, and man, oh man, you would really like to see Butler make a good connection on the pass right here. Here we go. 3rd down and 8. Butler dropping back, looking to his right, makes a connection with Sigala. Sigala does make a few men miss, but he's going to be forced out of bounds. It'll be good enough for a gain of, they're going to say nothing. And here comes the punt team. Well, the good thing is Brayton Butler able to make a few connections on this series, and you get him in the rhythm, and maybe that gets something going on this next series if you can get the ball back. Here we go. Sigala's punt. It's going to kind of take a weird bounce. It's going to take a bounce in favor of the Leopards. It looked like he kind of wanted to take off with it there for a second. So 4:01 left in this third quarter if you're just now joining us. 6-13 in favor of the new home Leopards. Now Brayson back and company coming out onto the field. And in the backfield with him, it looks like Preston is back there with him. No, it's not Preston, it's the man in motion, and that's going to be a false start. So 1st and 10 will now be 1st and 15. So 1st and 15 for this Leopard offense. Now I'd be curious to see if they go through the air on this one. Lone receiver at the top of your screen is going to be Madrid. And Beck was looking out there. Ball's on the ground, and that's exactly where it's going. And boom, hit immediately. It's number 21, Preston. Second down and 11 for this Leopard offense. So now that two receivers now at the bottom of your screen. Beck sends a man in motion. Beck looking, he's going to go deep. He has a man, and the ball is just thrown just a little short. Intended receiver, Miles Clark. She'll now make 3rd and 10. If you're Muleshoe, watch out for the screen. You're going to look for that 3 wide receiver set either at the top or bottom of your screen as number 2, Colby Cook, is coming in. And that is kind of what you've seen in this game. Colby Cook comes in, and it looks like a 3-man wide receiver set. Let's see if that's what they come out in. We know it is a 2 wide receiver set. Here we go. Rolling out. And it is a screen. It's going to be out to number 4, who's going to get the first down. It's Parker Lyles. And you knew it. You knew the screen was coming. It's just kind of figuring out which way it was going to go. And that's the second time that we've seen that screen come from the Leopards. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs. And a fresh set of bodies now coming in for this Muleshoe defensive line. Back under, or will take the snap. It'll be a handoff immediately to 22, and he's going to get downfield very fast. Good blocking for Marshall Brown. And here comes the Leopards moving downfield, and you got to find a way to fight in this one. 3:03 left in this third quarter. Still plenty of time to play this game. And here we go. Beck is going to hand it off end around to 21, Preston. And Preston's going to get in for the touchdown. 26 yards on the end around for the touchdown for the Leopards. 19-6 is your score in this one. McDonald to attempt the PAT. Snap is good. Kick is end over end, and that is good. 20-6, your score in this one. Muleshoe needing to find answers. So 2:56 left in this third quarter. Now the nice thing about this last offensive series that the Muleshoe Mules had was Butler was very much able to really just kind of find a nice rhythm. Just the only difference is that the passes were short yardage passes, and you really like to see that ball get pushed downfield a little bit. Jose Sigala back to receive this kick, and you still have at least a quarter and 2 minutes and 56 seconds left in this one to try to figure something out to make your way back. You're able to, if you're the defense, you're able to stop them if you could just figure out the pass. And Muleshoe's going to have to land on that one. It's just a perfectly placed kick. That stopped before it went even out of bounds, and then it kind of stayed into bounds, and I think that was number 13, Luis Valles, decided just to drop on top of it. Really smart move by him. Here we go, 1st and 10 for this Muleshoe offense. Butler and company out on the field. Lone receivers at the top and bottom of your screen. Butler, handoff, Sigala coming around, and the Leopards are there. No, he breaks a few tackles, is able to get on the outside. He's going to break a few more tackles, and I tell you what, he went like 25 yards on that play and still was inside the sticks. Jose Sigala just going back and forth about 4 or 5 different times. And now the officiating crew. Sigala was slow to get up on that sideline, and they're saying you have to go out one play at least. 2:43 in this third quarter. 6-20 is your score. Muleshoe trailing so far. Second down and 6 will now be 2nd and 11 for this Muleshoe offense. I'm sorry, 2nd and 4 will now be 2nd and 9. Butler, they're going to try to keep a little bit of rhythm going in the pass game. Here we go. Here, another handoff to Sigala. And the Leopards were there immediately. And it's not the blocking up front. It's New Home is stacking the box with 6-7 players, just a few more. And what the secondary is doing is they're immediately seeing which direction Sigala is going, and they're just filling in the hole just immediately. But they are pressed up. Whenever you have 8 players in the box, someone's bound to be open on the outside. There we go. Butler rolling out, pass play. He has to get it out, and he does. That is caught for a first down, and that is what you wanted. Number 2, Noah Hernandez with the catch. And that was just a really well put together play by Coach. Clock will continue to run, 1:43 in this third quarter, 6-20, and I'll tell you what, Butler rolled out, and it was there. It was there immediately. Just Butler stayed there, and looks like Sigala is now the quarterback. He's going to take the direct snap, and he's going to go forward. That's going to be good for a gain of a couple. Now Butler's in. Second and 8 for this Muleshoe offense as Noah Hernandez comes out to give the play to the offense. Sigala, the quarterback, in the backfield. Sigala will take the direct snap, and he's going to have to bounce out on the outside. Breaks a few tackles, will keep his feet going. It would be about a yard shy. Powell is moving back and forth, and it'll be third and about 1 with 16 seconds left in this third quarter. I think Coach will let this go to the end of the third. Muleshoe is trying to line up fast and not fast enough. Third and 1 for this Muleshoe.
Gillam Advertising, MuleshoeTV.com, live stream coverage of the Muleshoe Mules versus New Home Leopards football game brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Edward Jones and Stephen Dement, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adena, and Joe are still there to serve you. McCormick Seeds, Dell Oil Company, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Hi-Tek Automotive, and high-speed internet for our live stream provided by 5 Area Connect.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter. This is 3rd and 1 for this Muleshoe offense. And it's going to be Sigala who takes it. He gets a first down and a little bit more. Now some keys to this fourth quarter. This Muleshoe team, I mean, you got to figure out how to get the ball in the air. Which you have. Butler's been able to get it downfield just a little bit. You know, he was getting the ball in a really good spot to a few different receivers and even converted the first down. As Sigala is the quarterback, Sigala's just going to take it himself. Really good blocking up front. And he's just going to get around a few different Leopards and take it out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. And then on the flip side, you know, defensively, you know, you've been able to stop the run, but since the since the last minute of that first half of football against La Mesa, you have not been able to stop the pass. Unless if it was just a bad pass thrown by the opposing quarterback. Here we go, Butler now at quarterback. Seagal to his right. Handoff to Seagal. Seagal's going to take it up the left side. It's finally going to be hit hard. And he had a host of New Home Leopards on them. We'll make it 3rd and 5. Or 3rd and 6. They're gonna spot the ball in between the hashes of the 42 and 43. 11 minutes left in this ball game. Muleshoe needs to score on this series. Butler dropping back, makes a pass out to Sigala. Really good room, and is able to get a first down. And that was just a good little well drawn up play. You know, Sigala comes out to the flat. You're able to get the pass out to him. And now Nehemiah Sanchez is now in. Here we go. Butler rolling to his left. Another open receiver, and that ball is finally caught. Oh boy, no Hernandez had to work for that one. Think if you're Butler, you know that the pass is going to be there on the outside. You just got to plant your feet, throw the pass, make a good, accurate, quick pass. Here we go, 2nd down and 5 for this Muleshoe offense. Sanchez to the right of Butler. Here we go, handoff to Sanchez, and Sanchez has a little bit of room out in front of him, and he's just going to kind of follow where the hole goes, and will be about a yard or 2 shy. Oh, they're going to mark him way out. 3rd and 3. Sigala now in. Here we go. Sigala's just going to take the direct snap, and he's going to break through for a first down and keeps fighting for some extra yardage inside the 15. Down to about the 13 is where he'll be located. 9:25 left in this 4th quarter. There is a fresh set of bodies that comes in for this Muleshoe offense. 1st and 10, while located inside the 15 at about the 13. Sigala to the left of Butler. Here we go. Butler's going to take it. It's going to be a handoff to Sigala, and back immediately is going to be the Leopards. And Newham was able to sniff that one out immediately. This draws you back 2nd and about 12. Ball now located at the 15. 8:20 left in this ball game. Muleshoe needs 14 points. Butler rolling out to his right, looking, has an open receiver, needs to get rid of it, and he doesn't. He's just going to take off and run with it, and he's going to get in between the sticks. $7:50 left in this 4th quarter. 3rd down and 4. I'm sorry, 3rd down and long. Be 3rd and 6. This is 4-down territory for this Muleshoe offense, as they're going to have to hurry, score, and then try to get this ball back. Josue Sigala in. Josue Sigala's just going to take it himself, and he's just going to go around the outside, and he has some decent blocks in front of him, and he's going to be about a yard or two shy from that first down, maybe the very long 3 yards, and there's going to be a flag. And that's located in the area of holding, and that's the last thing that you want if you're this Muleshoe team, is a holding call down when you're this close to the end zone inside the 15. And that's kind of what it's looking like. And I wonder what's going to come out of this. It's going to be a helmet on the Leopards. And that should be a fresh set of downs for this Muleshoe offense. Should be 1st and goal, ball located inside the 5. First and goal at the 4 is what this Muleshoe team was given. And I tell you what, that is maybe a sign from the football gods right there to, hey, go score this one. Josue Sigala all by himself in the backfield. He's just going to take it himself and shoot up the middle like a cannon down to about the 2, maybe the 1.5 yard line. Kind of hard to see from this angle. Let me see, 7 minutes left in this 4th quarter. Muleshoe's burnt a lot of time off this clock, and here we go. Josue Sigala again. Let's see if they can get it in, and they do. Touchdown, Muleshoe. Yes, touchdown. There it is. 6:44 left in the 4th quarter. Josue Sigala takes it in himself for the Muleshoe touchdown, and Muleshoe now has life. 12-20. I almost feel like if you're Muleshoe, you just do that same thing again. That's exactly what this looks like. And there's a lot of open space in the center of that. And it's going to be a direct snap to number 6 for the 2-point conversion. Johnny Hernandez taking the direct snap. Everybody was paying attention to the dangerous number 10, Josue Sigala, and they forgot about Johnny Hernandez. Muleshoe within striking distance now. Six points ties it up. 7 points gives you the lead with 6:44 left in the 4th quarter. And you kind of feel this momentum now coming back to this Muleshoe football team. Sideline has a new feeling of life in it. Josue Sigala to kick it away. I'm assuming number 21 Preston back to receive this kick for this new home Leopard team. Now don't count New Home completely out. This Muleshoe's defense has a job to do on this next series. And if you can, you would love to force a 3 and out, get the ball back. Muleshoe burning a little bit, almost 6 minutes in this 4th quarter. If you're just now joining us, 6:44, Josue Sigala's touchdown. 2-point conversion, good, makes it 14-20. That kick's going to go end over end. And number 4 misses it, and he's going to have a lot of open fields. Fine, tackled. Shoelace tackled. Luis Valles getting the tackle. And I tell you what, Muleshoe saw that ball bounce behind Parker Lyles, and oh man, they were looking for blood right there, and Parker Lyles was able to get a hold of the ball and make 2 different defenders miss from Muleshoe, and luckily Muleshoe was there for the tackle, bringing him down. It was Luis Valles on the tackle. But now here comes Brayson Beck and company, and I got to tell you what, if you're Brayson Beck in the offense, you feel good because Muleshoe really hasn't had an answer for the pass, so you know that you have that to rely on. But here we go, end around number 21, and that ball is going to be number 21, finally forced out of bounds, but man, another end around. You've seen that about 5 or 6 times, and you wonder if New Home goes back to it, and they have flipped the field on one play. If you're Muleshoe's defense, you're going to have to really, really concentrate here on this series. Here we go. Another end around again, and brought down is number 2 by number 20, Jaden Agunez. He'll be brought down right or behind the line of scrimmage for loss of 1. Second down and 11. 6:12 left in this fourth quarter. Time is ticking, tick tock, and New Home will take their time, and lone receiver at the top of your screen, and then you have another receiver. That receiver is not acknowledged yet. Now he is. Here we go. Pass. Almost batted down, but being hit. Big hit by number 50, Evan Jenkins. So only a gain of a couple. So 3rd down and 9, and I think if you're 3rd and about 6+, New Home will punt it away right here. But if they're 3rd and 5 and closer than that, they're going to go for it. Here we go, 3-man set. Watch the screen. That's where this has come from the past several times. That's exactly kind of what they're going to look at, and they're going to have to get number 0 out of bounds, and they do. And no one there to contain him. Brayson Beck will take it himself and will keep that drive alive for the Leopards. And this Leopard offense just doing just barely enough. They've had multiple 3rd down, I'm talking like 10+ yards, 8+ yards, and able to convert. And actually a few touchdowns off of those. So here we go, 1st down and 10, fresh set of downs for Beck and company. Beck is going to hand it off to number 12, but he's not going to be able to get far. So he'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 4:53 left. Clock running in this fourth quarter. Muleshoe's going to need to get a stop and get a stop fast. Leopards can burn off another minute and a half, if not a little bit more than that. So if you're Muleshoe, you might be lucky to get the ball with around 2:30 to 2:40 left. If you can get a stop on this set of downs right here. Beck with the handoff, and Muleshoe in the backfield for another tackle. So here we go. It is another 3rd down. and long, and coach is going to call a timeout. This is a big, monumental 3rd down for this Muleshoe defense. And of course, on the flip side of the ball, you got New Home. New Home wants to get out of here with the victory, but Muleshoe's defense is going to have to dig deep, read their keys correctly, look out for any passes, and I guarantee you Coach John Ward on the other side is coming up with something, either a screen or, you know, the bread and butter of this offense tonight. The running game for the Leopards is kind of just not been it. So going through the air is what they've been wanting to do, but finding the open space is really what has helped this Leopards offense. So if you're Muleshoe's defense, you just want to be able to eliminate that open space on the screens. You know, keep an eye on 21 on the end around, or number 2. You know, you have Colby Cook and Lincoln Preston, who are very fast and very dangerous. You know, Muleshoe's been able to tackle very well. So, you know, once they get a hold of one of the players, it's been it. But, you know, big 3rd down right here. And, you know, this once again is 4th down territory. You want to make this 3rd or 4th down and outside the sticks, or just barely inside. And a lot of space on that right side of the field for Beck and company. Here we go, 3rd down and long. Beck dropping back, looking. He's just going to go deep, but he's going to be in trouble. Beck's going to have to get rid of it, and does, and that ball is just outside of the reach of his intended receiver, 21, Lincoln Preston, and Muleshoe's defense stands stout. Beck almost took off and ran with it, but there was a few Muleshoe Mules who were able to get there fast to contain him and force the pass, and Beck just unbalanced on his feet, just passes overthrown his receiver, Lincoln Preston. So 4th down and 11. Big 4th down for this Muleshoe defense right here. 4:04 left in the 4th quarter. Fans are on their feet. Everyone's cheering. Let's go. Here we go. Beck looking, going deep, and that ball is caught. That was a great route run. And that's going to be just a yard enough for the 1st down for this Leopard offense. So another 2 minutes that the Leopards can take off the clock. And you want to talk about just silence. So 1st and 10 for Brayson Beck and company. 2 receivers at the top of your screen. Here we go. Beck's just going to take it himself, and he's going to get on the outside, and that's going to be a big holding call. Josue Sigala was being held with all the might of that offensive line. He got on that outside edge fast. So holding, 3:14 left in the 4th quarter. Will be a repeat 1st down, but those are precious seconds. Muleshoe will have this ball back with under a minute if everything kind of plays out the way it's supposed to play. 20-14 is our score. Muleshoe down in this one, but and here we go, another end around, and that end around is going to be good for this offense, and that is a touchdown for the Leopards. So another end around for this Leopard offense, and you know, you play the game of football, you still got 3 minutes and 7 seconds left, but just made it that much harder to try to come back. 26-14 is your score. And it looks like that there's a player down on the sideline outside of from where everyone could see, and he was able to get up on his own. McDonald to attempt the PAT. Blocking this would really kind of help you, but that's going to be about as good as a kick as you can get. Muleshoe 14, New Home 27, with 3:07 left in the fourth quarter. So a lot of different things you can try to do here, but you're going to have to, I mean, you're talking about scoring within 30 seconds. And then you got to get a stop on the other side, which you've really not been able to do without a turnover from this opposing New Home team. Kicking it away to McDonald, back to receive is going to be Josue Sigala. And that's going to go into the hands of Aiden Garcia, and he's going to be brought down pretty quick.
This is a reminder as we are nearing the end of the game. You can be shot over the visitor gate. So you can meet your child or parent after the game. Words the parents out loud on the field. Their parents allowed on the field.
We go 1st and 10 for Butler and company. Low snap, Butler looking, and he's going to go deep. Yes, number 2 there, and that ball's going to be caught. Oh, they're going to say he's out of bounds. And he's kind of pushed out of bounds. He's kind of forced out of bounds by his defender, but I guess we'll let that one go. 2:57 left in the fourth quarter. 14-27 is your score, and that was a really great catch by Noah Hernandez. Noah's even saying his own. He's like, I got pushed. Here we go, low snap, and Muleshoe's going to have to fall on it, and Muleshoe unable to fall on it. That's going to be we still have not gotten a call from this officiating crew on who has the ball. So New Home's ball. Just another miscue by this Muleshoe offense. And I think going into this next week, you got to really evaluate just a little bit of the mental toughness of this Muleshoe offense, just kind of overcoming this stuff and just kind of go in and know that you're going to have to play a really hard Canadian team next week. Here we go. End around again, and that's going to be a touchdown. That is 3 touchdowns tonight on end arounds for this New Home Antelope team. That'll make the score 33-14. McDonald to attempt the PAT. And that kick is going to be good. So 34-14. This one is not going to call it now, but it's just that much harder for this Muleshoe offense to really get away. Your next opponent, Canadian Dement right now, 34-35 is the score in that one. But Dumas, you know, the Dumas Devils are really, really, really good team. Dumas, you know, beat Caprock 51-0, Borger 51-6. They'll definitely probably end up being Bushland, but they have like Pampa, Hereford. Canadian, on the other hand, a really big state caliber team. So that ball will go out of bounds, giving Muleshoe some decent field position to start on this next series, but in all reality, you got the number 2 3A 2 team who'll be coming into town next week, so you're gonna have to find a answer for the Canadian team coming in. And that game will be on the 19th at 7 o'clock. This Muleshoe team not giving up. They got a lot of fight in this game. It's been first it was a really good game. Muleshoe able to find some stops in the trenches, but just a lot of discipline in the secondary on just finding and reading your keys and just finding the ability to fill the holes on, on the end around play. That's kind of what hurt you a little bit tonight, along with the passing into the secondary. But passes didn't really get too deep. Passes were little 6-7 yard passes and turned into really either big gains. You had your opponent third down and forever several times in this game, and then turned into either a touchdown or a conversion with just like 1 yard too shy. So you can't really hang your hat on this game. You still have a whole season to go. Here we go. Butler coming around. Really good pass out of Butler's hands. And there's going to be an injured player. There was a flag on the field as well, it looks like, too. So screen pass is complete. So there's an injured player on the field. Once again, looking ahead, Canadian next week, then you travel to Clyde. So you have a big stretch of games here. So you have Canadian, a really good Clyde team in Clyde. And you got to go play a really difficult Delhart team in Delhart. Then you turn around and then you host Roosevelt. Roosevelt 1-2 on the season. They beat Brownfield. That was their first win, but that game was very, very, very close. Then you have Littlefield and Littlefield, the war in 84. You have Slayton. You host them at home. That is probably the team, one of the harder teams that you're going to probably face against in this district play, them and Idalou. So you do have Idalou coming up. Really, really good quality opponents coming up in this district play, but you do have a really hard stretch before bye week. I mean, Canadian at home, Clyde, Delhart, those are 3-hour trips, you know, different ways. Clyde, of course, being on the far east side of Abilene. Then you come back home for Roosevelt, get Littlefield down the road, Slayton at home. Then follow your bye week on the 31st. And then Idalou. So still a lot of season left to play for this Muleshoe team. But you're definitely going to have to really... You're going to have to find a way to get Butler comfortable in the backfield passing. Here we go. First down and 10. After that penalty is going to be a holding. So a little screen pass out to Sigala. Plenty of field in front of him. And Sigala's just going to take him methodically, make his way down. So it'll finally be brought down in between the sticks, which will make it second down and very manageable for this Muleshoe offense. And now 2 receivers at the top and bottom. Your screen, Butler's going to roll out. This will be a quick pass, but batted down at the line of scrimmage. And if you're Butler and company, you can't really... 2-minute timeout. 1:57 left in this fourth quarter. So looking ahead, I don't think any of these games are out of reach if you're Muleshoe. You know, you're coming in and, you know, you host Canadian at home, which is nice. You know, one of the better teams in the state of Texas last year. You almost beat them at their place. Now, two totally different teams between actually both squads, especially Muleshoe bringing in a new coach and new quarterback, but there's this one thing this team has really well, and that's fight. You know, they will continue to play for each other. Here we go. Passes out to number 13. He's going to make a few people miss. He's going to go out of bounds. So Luis Valles' catch and go will be good for a first down and should stop the clock at 1:52. And maybe this little 2-minute drill right here might get Butler kind of comfortable, kind of go into the next game. Butler dropping back. He's looking. He's going to pass it, and that ball is just at the knees of his receiver, number 7, Blaine Klafka. Second down and 10 for this Muleshoe offense. Here we go, good pass pass snatches over the head of his intended receiver, Johnny Hernandez. So third and 10 for this Muleshoe Mule offense as Butler is in the backfield to right him Sigala. Butler's going to roll out to his right. And he's going to pass it deep downfield to an open receiver. And it's just outside of his reach. That was Johnny Hernandez.
Pass number 6, Johnny Hernandez, falls incomplete.
And that falls incomplete. That'll be 4th down. And man, Johnny had all sorts of real estate in front of him. And you're just like maybe a yard or two, just too much on that one. Dropping back, little screen now to Josue Sigala, and Josue nowhere to go as a host of New Home Leopards was there. And that will be a turnover on downs. Josue does get it in between the sticks, but with 1:26 left in the 4th quarter, the New Home Leopards will take over and should form victory formation. They should have formed victory formation earlier. Instead decided to run an end around for a touchdown. That snap will be taken by number 23. That's Bryson Burke, the junior. So the clock winds down to 60 seconds left in this one. Your final will be 34-14. Muleshoe falling in this one will move Muleshoe to 2-1 on the season. Now Muleshoe hosting Canadian next week. We would like to see everyone out to cheer on their Muleshoe Mules team as they do host Canadian. New Home will move to 2-1, and we wish them luck on the rest of their season, as this will be it right here. 34-14, your final. Muleshoe will be looking to host Canadian next week, and we will see y'all then. I am Elliott Davis, the voice of the Mules. Safe travels for everyone, and we hope to see y'all next time.
Gillam Advertising, MuleshoeTV.com, live stream coverage of the Muleshoe Mules versus New Home Leopards football game brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Edward Jones and Stephen Dement, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adena, and Joe are still there to serve you. McCormick Seeds, Dell Oil Company, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Hi-Tek Automotive, and high-speed internet for our live stream provided by 5 Area Connect.